I put my house up for rent in April 2023 without anywhere else to live, essentially making myself homeless. My friends thought I was crazy, and they might be right. I don't know. Are they right? Anyway, my name is Libria Jones. I have spent my most of my career as a project manager and most of my life as a productivity addict. I am currently navigating life as an over 40 empty nester who is doing her best to gain self mastery and live this one and only life to the fullest. I'm sharing what I'm learning, what's working, and even what's not working in the hopes that it helps you too. In this video, I'm going to share a life update about my current living conditions. Spoiler alert, I'm still homeless. I'm going to talk a bit about what I'm up to in October and also do a monthly review of my September, sprinkled in with some great nuggets for you, I think. So roll with me. Let's do this. First, let's talk about this homeless situation, y'all. I am so tired of being homeless. Like, I can't even tell you how tired I am. I'm cheerfully homeless, right? Like, I'm not like truthfully homeless. Like, I'm not out on the streets. I know somebody's watching like, girl, what's going on? Why are you homeless? Is you broke? Do you need some money? I mean, I will take the money. But let me back up a little bit about and tell you what I mean by I'm cheerfully homeless. So, rolling into 2023, one of my big goals was to significantly reduce my living expenses. I wanted to live for less than $500 a month, either $0 or $500 a month. That was my goal going into 2023. And I could do that one of a few ways. One was to buy a duplex. Now, my goal to house hack a duplex was set back in 2020 before I even moved to Tulsa. Before I even moved to Tulsa in the first place, my plan was to get a duplex. I bought the house in Tulsa, and the goal was to get a duplex and put that house up for rent and move into a duplex. What I realized is that I had been kind of comfortable. I had been too comfortable in my house in Tulsa and wasn't really putting forth the serious effort to get out there and buy a duplex so I could house hack. And ideally, a house hack situation is you have a duplex or a multifamily, triplex, fourplex, whatever. And the other people, the other units that you're renting out covers the mortgage. So you get to live for free. That was my ultimate goal, but I wasn't really working towards it. So that was one option for me. And a second option for me to significantly reduce my living expenses was to leave the country. So I can live in Mexico, I could live in Colombia, I could live in South Africa, I could live in Prague, I could live multiple places, Asia, for less than $500 or $600 a month for rent. So I would significantly reduce my living expenses if I left the country. I've done it before, so I know it can be done. And I have a whole lot of friends who live abroad as well. My third option was to do a tiny house and or an RV. Not and or, a tiny house or an RV. That was my next option. I was like, oh, I could do that. That's not that expensive. And my very last resort, was I could go live with my parents. Yeah, I could do that. And so I realized in rolling into 2023 that I was just too comfortable in my place and I wasn't actually taking the steps necessary to significantly reduce my living expenses and take advantage of one of these four options that I just mentioned. And so I was like, well, here's what I'm going to do. I have been wanting to, back in 2019, I shared a post on Facebook that when my daughter graduated, my goal was to retire from being location dependent. I wanted to just travel indefinitely, live my life and work. And I was like, if I'm going to do that, I was thinking, here's a time where I can actually do that. So I was like, let me just put my house up for rent and figure it out. Figure it out from there. My friends thought I was a lunatic, a whole lunatic. They're like, friend, where you gonna live? Like, what are you talking about? And so here's my thing. I get it. My friends have a right to be concerned about me. I love them. And we're very different in that I don't need a lot of things that a lot of other people need. Like I don't need to have a nice house, a nice car, and nice things. I am not very things based. I don't want to say materialistic because that has a negative connotation. And I am slightly materialistic. Don't get me wrong. I don't need a lot of things. I need a lot of freedom. I need a lot of space. I need to be able to decide where I want to be and when I want to be there. Like I need a lot of flexibility. That's what I need. And so I don't need a lot of stuff. I also recognize that my best friends are fantastic people. They have young children. They are very grounded and they need to know all the steps, right? They need to know if they're going somewhere, they need to know every single turn and pivot and U-turn, whatever, stoplight, all of it. They need to know all of the steps to get there. And I'm a person who's like, oh, I'll figure it out. I know the general direction I'm going in. I'll figure it out along the way. That's just my personality. It's always been my personality. I am very comfortable with uncertainty. As long as I know in general where I'm trying to get to, I always feel like I can figure it out. I feel like I'm that kind of person. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. What I am saying is it makes total sense that I would be the person that's like, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna put my house up for rent and make myself homeless. And my friends would be like, girl, what? What are you talking about? You don't know where you're going to live? My thinking was that as long as I am gainfully employed, I have access to Airbnbs, hotels, I have friends, I have parents. As long as I have all those things, I will be okay. Like I will find somewhere to stay. And my worst case scenario looks like stay with my parents or kick these people out of my house and move back into the house that I own. So this is not really a dire situation. This is not something I felt like should be concerning. I am also the person that traveled the world for a whole year. I took a whole group of people around the world for an entire year. I can figure out how to find somewhere to lay my head every night. Like that's easy. That's easy to do. So I moved forward with letting people move into my place and renting my place out because I felt confident that the rest would get worked out. So what did I do? Okay, so first of all, I have a really good friend, one of my very best friends who I grew up with, who lives in Atlanta, Georgia, let me store a bunch of my stuff at his house. So I put most of the things that I have in storage. No, I put most of the things that I have in my house in Tulsa in storage, and then just gathered a few boxes of the things that I need on a day-to-day basis. And I took that to my friend's house in Atlanta. And he said that I could stay there with him in between trips, right? So my plan was I already had a pretty action-packed travel schedule. And so he was like, well, in between you traveling, you can stay here. I was either traveling for work or for pleasure. I also did house sitting. I had never thought about house sitting. Like I've seen people house sit on TV, but I'm gonna be honest, I really was under the impression that this is something white people do. Like black people do this. People let black folks just come stay in their house. Y'all letting black strangers come stay in your house. Huh. Who knew? My friend Stephanie Perry, who is here on YouTube, and she is a coach. She basically teaches people how to move out of the country and how to create lives of ease and all that kind of stuff. She was talking about house sitting, and I was like, I could do this. A lot of times, or my experience has been that a lot of the house sitting opportunities that I've found have really been pet sitting. So for the most part, there definitely are house sits that are pet free, where you're just taking care of the house or you're just taking care of plants. But by and large, a lot of the house sits that I have found are pet sitting. So Stephanie introduced me to a platform called Trusted House Sitters. And I started house sitting through that. I did a house sit in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I did several house sits in Atlanta as well. I'm actually thinking about doing some house sits coming up here next year in 2025 in across the water. I really, really want to do a house sit in London so badly. I came so close to getting one last year. I actually came close to getting 2 of them last year, but it didn't work out. Anyway, so that was one of the things that I did when I moved out of my place. I did house sitting. So that was a good way for me to, have somewhere to lay my head. And, I got to take care of people's pets. I tried to focus on People that had cats, because cats are easy. You don't have to walk them. They kind of live their lives, do their own thing. You just feed them and change their, litter and stuff like that. I typically focused on house sits that were at least 1 week long. I really, really tried to focus on house sits that were 2 weeks long, but I tried to at least focus on house sits that were 1 week long. That was one of the ways that I was able to, have a roof over my head and have somewhere to stay while I was cheerfully homeless. And then, let's see, that's April 2023. That brings us into 2024. In November of 2024, my mother told me that her townhouse was about to become vacant. Her townhouse was about to become vacant, and I have been after her for years to put that thing on Airbnb. It's a college town. You've got Florida State here, you've got FAMU here, you've got TCC here as well. But the two main colleges here, that represents 2 football seasons, 2 homecomings, and 4 graduations. Technically 6 graduations if you add the summer graduation season as well. And so I was like, there's just so much opportunity there for Airbnb. Plus it's the capital city. So a lot of people come here to work. Politicians come here. People in healthcare come here to work as well. And so I've been after her for a long time to get this place on Airbnb. She finally told me that it's becoming vacant, and she was like, well, you can come and rent this place out. I was like, well, I would actually like to come and put money into that place and put it on Airbnb, and we can split the profits. How about that? How about that, mama? And so I end up coming here and staying in the townhouse for November, December. I moved in December. December, January, February, March, April. So I spent 5 months staying here before I put it on Airbnb. It could have been ready sooner, but once again, I got comfortable. I was chilling hard. Like the townhouse is nice. If I do say so myself, I did a really great job decorating and making this a nice place. But I looked up and realized, I was like, dang, it's April again. And I'm not making money on this townhouse. In fact, me staying here is costing money. So A, I'm losing money, the opportunity cost of the money that I would have made if this place was rented out. And B, I'm having to keep this place up, right? So I got to pay the light bill. I got to pay for the Wi-Fi. I got to pay for, what else do I have to pay for? Pest control services. And I'm not bringing in any money on this property. So I was like, okay, all right, we gotta put it together. So I officially put the place up on Airbnb in April, and it has been doing fantastic since then. So if I'm in town and we don't have any guests staying here, I will stay here. Other than that, I'm staying with my parents. Right now, I am waiting for a property to become vacant. I have a deal with an owner of a property that once they move out, I can move into that property, and they are only charging me $600 a month. I'm just waiting for them to move out. So I was under the impression that they would move out in March. They have not moved out yet. Yeah, I know it's October, but I'm just waiting. So anyway, that's what I've been waiting for. But the waiting has definitely been kind of dragging me down, because in the meantime, I'm still living out of suitcases. Like, I am very tired. I didn't even hit on this. I am very tired of being homeless. I am exhausted. And don't get me wrong, I love the freedom. I love the fact that I don't really spend any money on housing. My house in Tulsa, I have people paying for that place. So I'm building equity in a property that I am not even paying for. Somebody else is building my equity in my property. And then here I am making money on a property I don't own. So I am earning revenue, I should say. I am earning revenue on an Airbnb that I do not own. That is called Airbnb arbitrage. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. It's something I'm looking to do more in the city of Tallahassee. As I ride around and look at houses that have been on the market for a long time, I'm like, oh, let me reach out to those owners and see if they'll let me Airbnb this place, and that way they can make some money while it's sitting. Anyway, this situation is good. Like, that's the good thing about the situation. I have someone else building equity in my home, and in this Airbnb property, I am making money on it, and I don't even own it. I did invest money into it. Okay, I did invest a decent amount of money into it. I got the floors replaced, and I paid for all the decor and things like that. So those are the good things. The other good thing is that I have the flexibility to be anywhere. I really do. Like, I'm not tied to a specific location. I'm not tied to a place. I don't have to worry about, I'm paying rent, so I should be there. I'm paying a mortgage, so I should be there. I don't have any of that. In fact, one of my friends hit me up recently and was like, hey, can I send you to South Africa because I need someone to do XYZ? And I was like, yeah, sure. Just because I can. Just because I can. It's amazing. That's the kind of freedom that I've always wanted in my life. The downside of it is, the other upside, I will say, the other upside is getting to be a bunch of different places is great. Getting to spend real time with my friends. It's one thing to pop into a friend's city for the weekend and y'all go to brunch. It's a whole nother thing to be able to go and stay with a friend for weeks, for 2 weeks, where you're sitting on the couch watching movies, doing self-care Sunday together, and like getting deeper into who you are as people and what you think, and building that bond even better. That has been the really cool thing about that. I have been able to go levels deeper with all of my friendships because I'm able to just kind of go stay with them for a week or two at a time. I also got some amazing opportunities. So I went to Egypt. No, I went to Rwanda and Cape Verde this year with No Madness because I can just do that. This has been really dope. It's really been really, really dope. Let me tell you the downsides, because it ain't all sunshine and rainbows and making money and, flying about the world. The downside of this is all my stuff is always in a suitcase. All my stuff is always in a suitcase or a box. I got to unpack everything to find anything. I don't have the ability to just reach for my things. Like, I know exactly where my face wash is, or I know exactly where my makeup is. I know exactly where my body care stuff is. I know exactly where my underwear are. Like, I have to unpack a suitcase. Well, not necessarily fully unpack it. I'm being dramatic, but I have to open a suitcase every time I want to put on some drawers. Ugh. Like, it gets really annoying. You don't realize how annoying all of that is. I have back problems. And I bought myself a really expensive and wonderful bed that I do not sleep in. It is in storage. I don't even get to sleep in my wonderful bed. And so I'm sleeping in different beds between my parents' house, the townhouse, my friends' houses, house sitting, hotels, Airbnbs, whatever. I'm sleeping in so many different beds, and none of them are my wonderful bed. And so, like, I'm just so tired of waking up with my back hurting. Um, and I will say it's very tough on routines as well. It's tough to keep a routine when you don't have like a set place to go. And I don't just mean, like a morning routine. I'm talking morning routine. I'm talking workout routine. I'm talking eating routine. I'm even talking a routine for your business, like making sure that I'm recording videos on a regular basis, making sure that I'm writing content on a regular basis. It's so tough to get into a routine when your routine always has to be packed up and ported. It's hard to have a routine that's portable, but it's something I am working on. So, all that said, I am just complaining, really. Like, I'm just tired of being homeless. I think in my ideal scenario, I would have a home base where I can unpack all my things. My bed could be there, but I still have the freedom to travel for an extended period of time. So if I want to go somewhere for a month, or I want to go somewhere for like, a few weeks or 3 months, whatever, I can do that. But when I come back home, I have a set home base, and everything is like exactly where I put it. I know where everything is. Everything's organized. It's all mine. I miss my stuff. I'm not even a stuff person, and I miss my stuff. I've got boxes of wine in storage that I've gotten from all over the world that I'm not enjoying because I want to do that in the comfort of my home. It's just a lot. I have not been able to host any events. Like, I love hosting a grits brunch or a game night. I've not really been able to do that. Technically I could do the Airbnb, but I right now I'm all over the place. Anyway, so those are the things that I'm really sick of. So what I'm trying to figure out is, do I just leave the country? Because I don't foresee this property that I'm supposed to move into, I don't foresee it becoming available until early next year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with myself. Like, trying to keep it real with myself so I can make the right decisions for myself. I don't see this place being available until early next year. It just ain't finna happen. It ain't finna happen. It ain't. I don't believe it. I don't even much believe it. And so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with myself. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. I really am ready to leave the country. I'm ready to just go. There's just a whole different level of freedom and a whole different pace and a whole different level of inspiration that I get being outside of the US. So I'm strongly considering just leaving and going to Asia or Africa, and then maybe popping over to Europe for a little while. A bunch of my friends are going to Thailand in November and trying to get me to go. Here's the problem with that. You got homecoming, FAMU homecoming, not just homecoming, FAMU homecoming. You got FAMU homecoming, and then you got Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is my favorite family holiday. I know a lot of people love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving because I love to cook. Like, food is involved. Food is involved. And the other thing I like about Thanksgiving over Christmas is that Christmas feels more like a who got who what. Like people's feelings being hurt because they didn't get a gift, or they got somebody else a gift that was better than their gift. And it's too much. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, and I don't like to miss Thanksgiving with my family. So I can't go nowhere this month. I can't go to Thailand this month. So I'm thinking about me and one of my friends are going to Vietnam in January for Lunar New Year to celebrate with my friends. So I went to Vietnam 2020 to go to a wedding. One of my coworkers is Vietnamese. He had gone over to Vietnam and met a young lady there, and they got married, but they got married in Vietnam, and I got invited to the wedding. Well, ever since, her parents have been asking, when am I coming back? So I want to come back for Lunar New Year in January. I am planning to come back in January for Lunar New Year. And so I'm thinking I might just stay. I might just stay in Vietnam for a month, for the month of February, then pop back over to Thailand for a month because I miss Thailand so much. So I am thinking about leaving the country. Here's the only problem with leaving the country. I feel like I don't want to leave my daughter. I am not really the mom that's like, I need to be in the country if my daughter's in the country. Like, she'll be fine. She got people, she got a village, and there are flights going back and forth between my country and the US, wherever I am in the US on a regular basis. Otherwise, she's in my hometown with my family. Like, her village is here. But part of the reason she moved here was to be closer to me. I was telling her that I think she just needs more guidance, more mentorship. And she's at an age now where she's finally listening to me. When she was living with me as a teenager, she would not listen to me. Like, teenagers listening, that sounds crazy. No, it don't happen. It just does not happen. So now that she's in her 20s, she just turned 21, she really does listen to me a lot more. She listens to my advice. She asks for my guidance. And so I was like, this is actually the prime time for you to be closer to me. And here I am about to be like, girl, bye. It's been real. So part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't leave and I should stick around for my daughter. I don't know. She seems to be fine with it. She said she's fine with it. She's like, I'm good. As long as I can get you on FaceTime, we good. So I am not entirely sure what my next move is going to be with my cheerfully homeless self. I'm still on the search for a duplex. I am still searching for a duplex. Like, my optimal move is to get a duplex and have a home base. But what I have cooking ain't bad either. Having a home base here in Tallahassee that's $600 a month, that ain't bad either. So I like my odds. It's just a matter of things are up in the air right now. And that's a little bit frustrating. Even for someone who is very go with the flow, I am okay with building the tracks as the train is moving. And yet I am tired. I am tired of having to build. So are my friends right? Am I crazy? I don't think that my friends are right or wrong. I am not crazy, but I am very different. It is a different choice than a lot of people would make, and I'm okay with it. And I don't feel like because I'm tired, I made a bad choice. I just want to be very clear about that. I don't feel like I made a bad choice. I still feel like I made the right choice. I feel like I made the absolute right choice. It's just time for me to make the next one is where we're really at. Cool. Okay. Enough about me being homeless. Let's talk more about what else is going on with me in this life update. A little bit about, I am trying to lose weight. I am trying to lose about 20 to 30 pounds and slim down. And it's been hella frustrating, especially since I have hit 40. So I turned 46 last week. And I honestly can say that this whole fitness thing has been a struggle for the last 5 or 6 years. Before that, I didn't really care about my weight. What I cared about is how toned I was. That was the only thing that I would go in and out from being toned and untoned, toned and not toned. My weight fluctuated probably 5 to 10 pounds. So I would either be at like 150 or 159, basically 149 to 159, or maybe I would hit 160. And that's kind of my life. That kind of has been my life for a while. But once I hit over 40, like I just started gaining weight. So I'm at 185 or something like that. Right now, I am just fluctuating between 180 and 190. I'd say honestly 182 and 192. Like that has been my fluctuation for the past 2 years, which is a bit frustrating. I shared a video about this. I'm not going to go into detail about all my frustrations with fitness. I shared a video about this. And I also started a vlog. So I'm doing a weekly fitness challenge, and I share a vlog about that once a week about some of the things that I am doing to try to get fit again because I miss being fit. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to look like old Libria. I'm not trying to look like 30-year-old Libria. I am definitely not trying to look like 20-year-old Libria because, child, I would lose my mind trying to look like that girl. She was fine, though. Lord, she was fine. But I ain't trying to look like her. I just want to be, as slim and muscular as I could possibly be at this age. And I do know that it's possible because I see other people doing it. But yeah, check out the vlog if you are at all interested in what's going on with me there, some of the things that I've been doing in this challenge. But more importantly, Sunday, October 5th. Is that right? Today is the 3rd, 4th, 5th. So Sunday, October 6th. I will be doing a live session with my nutrition coach. I've learned so much from her. She specializes in perimenopause and menopausal nutrition and fitness. And she is in this age group. She right along with us, and she looks amazing. I mean, look at her. So I am hosting a live session with her this Sunday, October 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't make it, it's all good. If you're watching this afterwards, it's all good. Check out the replay. It will be here. We're going to have a great conversation about the struggle. You know what? It's a scruggle. It deserves a K instead of a T. It's a scruggle. We're going to talk all about the struggle of trying to be fit over 40. So that is something that I'm working on. That has kind of been my daughter's calling me. Hold, please. Yes. I am in the middle of recording. What do you need? God, I like that kid so much. Anyway, what was I saying? Check out that session. And if you've got time, check out the vlogs so you can see what your girl been doing. Struggling through, trying to lose 20 to 30 pounds. I just want to get back into, I'd be fine in the 160s. So like I'm trying to get to the 150s so that like if I adjust what I'm doing, I got room to grow into the 160s. So that is what I am trying to do. So check out the live session, join us there. September, let's talk about September. September was a great month. I just mentioned that I had a birthday in September. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I did a solocation in Fort Lauderdale for my birthday this year. I love throwing parties. I love doing, a girls trip. Like I've done a girls trip to Turks and Caicos. I've done a girls trip to Mexico. I've done a brunch party at my house, a grits brunch at my house for my birthday. I love having a good time for my birthday, and really, I love organizing it. Like usually my friends don't have to do anything but really like buy their tickets and show up. Like I usually plan everything, and I just want people to have a good time. But every once in a while, like every second or third birthday, I need to be by myself. Like I need to be solo, because as a Libra who loves to like throw the parties and plan everything, that is really serving other people. And then I'm always trying to make sure everybody's having a good time. Like I want to make sure folks are good. Like I want to entertain people and make sure folks are having a good time. So like every once in a while, I'm like, I just want to be by myself. So I don't have to worry about anybody but Lib. And so I went to Fort Lauderdale for a couple days, and absolutely did nothing on my birthday. Like nothing. I literally laid around, slept, watched TV. Did I lay by the beach? I think I might have gone to the beach for a second. I had creme brulee for lunch. I had creme brulee and champagne for lunch, which we're not even gonna talk about how that affects my fitness goals. Let's move on from that. But had a great time. So September's been a really good month. Let me see what's happened in September. I went on an awesome trip with Black Travel Alliance. I went on my very first press trip with a tourism board. So I went to California. I went to Sacramento, California with Visit Sacramento, Visit California, and quite a few other towns and cities outside of it with a small group of creators that were selected by the Black Travel Alliance, and had a blast. I had a blast. I'm so glad I applied for this. I had a really great time, enjoying the things in Sacramento and outside of Sacramento. We went to Yosemite. We went to California State Park with the big trees. We went to the Moaning Caverns. We got to do a lot of really cool stuff while we were there. But the other piece was I got to be with creators, with other creators who are, influencers on social media, who are bloggers, who are videographers, photographers, who have YouTube channels. And I got to learn so much just by being with them. But we also every morning we had sessions where we would talk through to our two mentors on the trip, who are Dom in the city and Alex. I can't remember Alex's handle, but I will put it down here so you guys can go and follow Alex. He's such a talented photographer and videographer and just a very sharp businessman, especially for him to be so young. He's like 28. But I was so impressed with the back end of his business. As someone who is big on processes and operations, like that's my thing. I was very impressed. But aside from that, like he is just very, very talented. And Dom is just a cool chick. Like she's so dope. She's about her business and she's very thoughtful with her content. So I got to soak up a lot from them and the other creators that were with us. So I did that in September. I also, what else did I do? I feel like September like stopped by and was like, all right, I'm out. Like September was not here for long at all. I landed a $5,000 speaking gig, which was dope. Not mad about that. So I have a few speaking gigs coming up that I'll tell you about because this is October stuff. I fell off of my fitness challenge so badly in September. Like I swan dived off the wagon for my fitness challenge in September. And so this week, you'll see if you watch the upcoming vlog, I am doing a fast because I didn't just fall off of my eating. I didn't really fall off of working out. Like one thing about me is I'm gonna go lift some weights because that is like my favorite thing to do. It's the walking and all the other stuff that you're supposed to do outside of it. I fell off that, but I also just fell off my general routines, like my skincare routines and my stretching routine. Like my back is in shambles right now because I stopped stretching in the morning. So all of my routines have gone to shite in September. So right now I'm doing a fast, which I do probably once a year whenever this happens, whenever I get completely out of whack and out of control and off the rails. So I'm currently doing a fast, more to come on that. But yeah, that's September. September was a good month. Let's talk about October. Let's get into talking about October and the goals that I have and the things that I have happening in October. There is one more thing I did in September that I'm excited about. I started a newsletter. So I started a Sunday newsletter, which I have been wanting to do for like 2 years. I've been wanting to start this newsletter called Some Things on Sunday, where I just share a few things that I'm thinking about. It'll be like something I want to share, something I'm excited about, something I'm scared of, something I'm frustrated about. I sent out 2 issues already. So I started it 3 weeks ago. So I have another one coming out this Sunday. If you want to get on the email list, I'll put the list in the description box. I'll link it up here as well. But feel free to join the email list because I really like writing these emails. This is really kind of, some of it is just, relatable, brain dumps for me. Some of it's me sharing some gems or something that inspired me. And some of it will be is me sharing, really cool things that I found that would benefit us both, benefit all of us. So yeah, I also launched a newsletter that I've been wanting to do for years. Man, I'm honestly really proud of it. I'm smiling so big because I actually got a few emails back from that and they were really cool. Actually, let me read you the responses that I got from those emails because I can't stop smiling about those. Where's my phone? Where's my cellular device? I'll be right back. Okay, so let me tell you what some people said to me about this email, which you see I'm blushing so hard. Okay, one person said, "This was so good. I must admit, I haven't had time to really read your emails because life, but I always try to open and click the links because analytics, thank you, girl. Today, in the middle of Hurricane Helen disaster relief efforts, I took a moment to read your note, and it was exactly what I needed. I am so proud of your journey and grateful for the literal life-saving advice you've given since I found you back in 2020, 2021-ish. Keep up the good work, and thank you again for your transparency." Thank you, girl. That was so sweet. And one more person emailed me after this email. The title of the email was "I don't like people who like me." I was talking about something that my friends mentioned to me years ago. We were talking about relationships and they were like, "You don't really like guys that like you." And I was like, "That's not true. I do like guys that like me." And I gave them all these examples. And I was like, but also, what's the truth in that? Because they've been my friends for a very long time. I have the same best friends I've had since I was 5 years old. So they've known me my whole life. So they wouldn't just say things. So like, what's the truth in it? And I got to thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I realized I don't feel comfortable with people that I think like me too much. But like, what does too much mean? Because I feel like I haven't earned it. Like, what have I done to make you like me this much? Well, it's something I need to work out in therapy. But I got to thinking about it and I was like, why do I think I need to earn like? And what exactly is too much? Like, how do I decide that someone else likes me too much? Like, that's weird and interesting and something I need to work out in therapy. Anyway, that's what the email was about. The second person emailed and said, "This is the second of your emails I've listened to." Because I also put a voice note in there. So if you don't want to read it, you can actually listen to it like podcast style, but it's really short. It's like 5 minutes. This is the second of your emails I've listened to. I love them. Your openness, your vulnerability, your triumphs, your challenges, keep them coming. Makes me feel like I'm not such a mess and that I can manage my way out of where I am. Thanks so much, Lib. Yay! I'm so excited. So excited. That was so nice. Very glad that I started sending that email out. It's something that I actually enjoy writing. And throughout the week, I'll like make notes of stuff. Like something will pop in my head. I'll make notes of stuff and be like, oh, I'm putting this in the email. Anyway, okay. So let's talk about October so we can close this thing on out because I've been talking for a long time, haven't I? Stuff coming up in October that I am excited about. One is I am doing Plugged In Tulsa. So the Tulsa Remote is hosting an event in Tulsa called Plugged In, where they are bringing together a lot of remote work experts to talk about kind of the state of remote work, to talk about, moving to cities for programs like Tulsa Remote and specifically moving to Tulsa for Tulsa Remote. And so they have invited me. I am, generally a spokesperson for Tulsa Remote. If you notice, I have a whole playlist about Tulsa Remote. I talk a lot about Tulsa Remote, and I have done some speaking engagements for them as well. I'm hosting a workshop in Tulsa about remote work, and then sitting on some panels, and I think doing a live podcast also. So excited about that. I'm excited to get back to Tulsa and see my friends there. I'm also going to be doing some content while I'm there as well about Tulsa to add to this channel, which should be a lot of fun. Also, I am speaking at the Exodus Summit. If you do not know what the Exodus Summit is, it is a summit and conference designed to help Black women move out of the US and live more fulfilled and peaceful lives. And the summit I think this is their 5th summit, and crazy enough, has spoken at all 5 of them. So this is my 5th time speaking. And, the success stories out of this thing are just incredible to hear people realize that there are ways that they can make money and different things that they can do to move out of the country. And a lot of these people, like, this was never even something that they thought was feasible for them, or if it's something they daydreamed about, they didn't think they could do it. And so the Exodus Summit does a really good job of really showing people the blueprint for how you can do this and giving you examples of so many women who have and breaking down how they did it. The Exodus Summit is October 11th through the 14th. If you'd like to attend, of course, there will be a link in the description box to the summit. If it's something that you've been like, oh, I would really love to move out of the country, but like, where, how? Like, how do I figure this out? How do I make money? Like, what do I do? Come through, come to the Exodus Summit. I guarantee you at the end of this, you will have a full plan that you just need to follow. The rest of it will just be you. So I am speaking at the Exodus Summit in October. So excited about that. Also, I'm gonna be trying to figure out where the hell I'm going. Like, girl, where you living? Where you staying? Where you resting your head? Where you gonna be washing your face and brushing your teeth every day when you wake up? Like, what is going on? I think my preliminary plan is to just continue to stay here in the townhouse through the end of the year, or until, not through the end of the year, through the end of January when I go to Vietnam, and then just stay in Asia for, a few months. I think that's the plan. And then maybe leave Asia and go to Africa or Europe or both. Maybe both. Maybe I'll do all of the above. Maybe I'll do February in Vietnam, March in Thailand, April in Kenya or somewhere, and then May and June I can go to Europe and then come back because I like being in the United States in the summer. Maybe, we'll see. I have no idea. That is just my preliminary plan, but I got to figure this out in October because this ain't it. What I'm doing, I'm getting tired of. If I can go stay somewhere for a month, that would be fine. I think for me, the problem is being in different places for a week at a time. It's hard to settle down when you're packing up every week. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be something that I figure out. Let me tell you what my goals are for the month of October. I have a video on planning your month right here. And it's linked up here if you want to watch it. It's a step-by-step guide to doing your monthly plan. I love planning. It's kind of the thing I like to do for fun, y'all. Watch a little reality show like Love is Blind and get up in Notion and get to planning. Like, I love planning things. I love operations and planning. Like, that's kind of my sweet spot. So here, and I tend to plan in 6 categories. I tend to plan in finance, health, career or business, personal development, lifestyle, and relationships. Those are the categories that I'm always planning and tracking in. And so I plan for the year in those categories. I plan for the quarter. I plan for the month. And I plan for the week in those categories as well. So those are how I set my goals. I do all the goal setting in those categories, and I walk through this in the monthly step-by-step plan. I also walk through this in my video about how to plan your year as well. And we're in a new quarter, so I'm actually a little bit overdue. I need to create my quarterly vision board. I do not make a yearly vision board. I make a vision board for the quarter because a yearly vision board it feels stale to me. It's just really, really stale. So I do a quarterly vision board. So I'm going to do my quarterly vision board. Maybe I'll post a picture here on YouTube. I've never posted a picture on YouTube. I've done YouTube shorts. I've done YouTube videos, but I've never just posted a picture on YouTube. So maybe I'll do that. All right. So let me tell you what my goals are in these 2 categories. And one of the things that I also want to point out is that I try to only have 1 to 2 goals for the month in each category. I don't try to load up all my goals, just 1 to 2. And I don't have to have 1 in each category, but I try to. So in finance, my goals are to contribute $2,300 to a Roth IRA. I would like to max out a Roth IRA. And the max this year is $7,000. And so that divided by 3 is $2,333. So I'm trying to max out the Roth IRA. So I want to contribute that this month. My health goal is to crush the last 10 weeks of my fitness challenge. The last 5 weeks of my fitness challenge. My other health goal is to get an understanding of whether or not I plan to do HRT or to potentially take weight loss drugs or to just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. I need to make a decision on that by the end of this month. Breaking tradition, I have one more goal that I'm adding to the list for the month of October for health is to find a new therapist. I do need a new therapist, so that is on my goals list for this month. My goal this month for business is to launch the new and improved Quit Commuting Academy. My team has been working behind the scenes to build this wonderful new community and academy for our audience, for our followers, for our community that has much more information and also is a lot easier to navigate. Because right now there's just what we're using right now is it's confusing, it's kind of clunky, and a lot of our events are kind of all over the place. So we're trying to get everything in one place. So very excited about launching that. If you are interested in remote work or interested in getting a remote job, please, please, please follow Quit Commuting on YouTube, on Instagram, and join our community. The community is free. The academy is not, but the community is free. Coming soon. Development. So my goal in development for this month is to learn a lot more streamlined marketing, right? So things like mini chat or using Make and things like that to post content and to basically help automate and streamline how we get the message for our business out to our community. Oh, I need to go back. I had one more business goal. Another business goal is to send out 20 pitches. So I want to send out at least 20 pitches this month. That's honestly, in my opinion, not really a lot. That's 5 a week. That's 5 a week. But that is the goal, to send out 20 pitches for my personal brand this month. So my other lifestyle goal, and lifestyle really, the lifestyle category is really like about enjoyment and joy and the things that you do for your life just to make your life better. It's nothing to do with your health or you being smarter. It's really just about the joy in your life. And so 2 of my lifestyle goals for October are to read 2 books. I do want to read 2 books. My other lifestyle goal this month is to shoot pool at least 4 times. I want to get so good at shooting pool, but admittedly, I have not really been like practicing. So I'm going to try to start like 1 day a week, just go down to the pool hall and shoot some pool. So that will be one of my lifestyle goals, is to go shoot pool at least 4 times this month. And then the relationships category isn't just about romantic. It is also about, friendships and family. My relationship goal is to spend time face to face with 5 friends this month. 5 of my friends I want to spend time with this month. And I actually want to spend time with a family member, blah, blah, blah. And I also want to spend time face to face with a family member who is not my mom or my daughter, because I always see those folks. I want to spend time with a cousin, maybe my sister, or someone else in my family face to face as well. So those are my goals for October. I would love to hear what your goals are for October. Feel free to drop them in the comments. Let me know what your goals are. You just never know, because I might check in on you. I might be like, girl, where you at? What you doing? Did you do this? Did it happen? Did you start? And feel free to do the same for me. Feel free to check in on me as well. I would love to do a video to show you guys kind of how I, create my goals and how I track them as well. That is coming up. In the meantime, thanks for hanging around for this life update. Thanks for kicking it with me. I know this was a long one. So thanks for sticking around with your girl. But feel free to keep on hanging around. One of my favorite videos that I recently posted is this one on how I am thriving in 2024 thanks to my 2023 self. I am thanking myself for 8 key things that I did last year that have made this year so much better. So feel free to check that video out right here, and I will see you in the next one.